Hey there everybody, we are back. I am Drak, and this is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo. We just barely got the claws so that we can go through the Wintry Cave. Thank you, Phoebe, for finally giving us the weapon that doesn't really work for you. And now we get the bow and arrow with Phoebe so that she's going to hit a lot harder. Thankfully. But we also have her magic, so not really all that worried. Right now we're just exploring the cave. That's what you want to do in a Final Fantasy game or any basic RPG. You just want to explore a little bit. And we'll see in a real quick second. There we go. That's how hard she hits with the bow. So now she's kind of worthwhile if she's not confused, and she's confused. That's okay, she burnt the centaur. I got no problem with that. So once again, this is a Drak 2326 Let's Play of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo. We're going to keep going until we finish it, and then hopefully, I think the next game that we're going to try and do is we're just going to keep with the same pace and tackle the Final Fantasy games, as long as people are okay with that. And if you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I will look into them and see if we can get those done. Bottom line is, I'm just looking to have some fun with you guys. Also, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. You can send those over to my YouTube, or you can put them in the comments below, as well as you can go to my Twitter address, which is twitter.com/Drak2326, and ask your questions there, and I'll answer them as best I can, either via the Let's Play, or I'll just send a message back to you. So now we're just collecting potions, because, you know, the brown boxes are just oh so useful. You know, I harp on them a little bit, but for a starting RPG player, they are helpful. In the fact that it's kind of hard to tell who sells what, and there's usually only one vendor, to my knowledge, in a village, and they may not sell what you exactly are looking for, so you kind of have to memorize which village sells cure potions, which one sells heal potions. And so this was kind of handy in the fact that you could come back to this, or I believe you could come back to the floor and the chest would reset. And so you could just keep getting the exact same potions and know what they were. So that's kind of helpful. But really, you look around for the big red chests, because they are armor, they are magic, they are weapons. Oh so great, because they can just keep the progress going. And as you're kind of noticing, the further we get into these games, the longer the dungeons get, and more enemies. That's perfect progression for an RPG, so that's a good way of preparing potential RPG players. It's a great idea. Because it's kind of its own little difficulty curve. And we're having problems with constant misses and now confusion. That's not good. Now we got speed down. That's another thing that you kind of start to see with these enemies, is that they start to lower stats. Sometimes it can be... doesn't matter, sometimes it does. In the case of, like, Confusion, it hurts hard, like that. And Benjamin is dead. Oh, noes! And we've got nothing but confusion! Okay, cool. Phoebe's back. And we're just gonna go quickly resurrect Benjamin. And there we go. All rezzed and healed. And she's confused again. That's just seems to be the way things are going. And I kind of considered using magic here, but right now I don't really have any huge spells that are going to do a whole lot of damage, so I'm kind of apprehensive at the beginning of the game until you start getting the bigger nukes to start using magic to start taking care of enemies. And for some reason I cast a live spell. I can't remember if she was still confused when she did that, but okay. That's alright. With these characters, you get like 30 casts of life, so no way are you ever going to use it all. Unless you are just that new to RPGs, which in some cases, I don't think a lot of people are, or were. there were a lot of ways to get access to RPGs back in the day, because you had Final Fantasy on the NES, you had Phantasy Star coming out on the Sega Master System, you had Ultima on the PC. You had a lot of ways to get into a role-playing game. Plus, if you weren't doing it that way, you were doing it pen and paper, because Dungeons and Dragons was out at that time. And yes, I know what Dungeons and Dragons is. Again, my older brother played it, and it was always fun to watch him and his D&D group to get together and hash out those stories. You know, I reference my older brother a lot in this, but really he is kind of the gateway into gaming for me. It was fun watching him play the games that he was playing. Not necessarily this one, but like the original Final Fantasy game and Ultima, things like that. And so that was really just kind of what got me into RPGs, into gaming in general. Up until that point, I played Mario here and there, but you know, you're a kid, you're not good at it. So you watch your older siblings who are willing to deal with the frustration and watch them beat the game. In fact, funniest thing, I remember first time my brother actually tried to gain recognition for it is we'd seen a contest in Nintendo Power. Yeah, we got Nintendo Power at the time. And around that time, Ultra Games had released the Ninja Turtles game for the NES, the one that everybody rants and raves about now. There was a contest for a picture of somebody who had beaten it. And so my brother actually took up the challenge, and he tried to get really good at it, and excuse me, I have a bit of a cold, but tried to get really good at it, and so he could get the completion photo, because you had to get the final screen, and you had to be in a picture. So we have this old Polaroid somewhere of him completing Ninja Turtles, because I know we did it, I just don't know if he actually submitted it to Nintendo Power, or maybe we took multiple pictures. But we have it, and it was good times. I remember him struggling to try and find the Technodrome. But more importantly, I remember him just struggling on RPGs, and it was always cool to have him, or to see him beat a boss, because that was a real achievement for a kid back in the day. So I gush on it a little bit, but, you know, my brother was kind of the gateway into RPGs for me. And now I play more than he does. How does that work? No, not necessarily. He went more into the MMO direction. I stick with the old school RPGs as well as MMOs, and he's also a very big fan of other franchises. And we're dealing with poison now. That's one of those... I don't know if I can use the term debuff or disease. That was one of those things in RPGs that never felt as much of a threat as it could have been. Maybe as a kid it's a bigger threat, but I remember going through later Final Fantasy games and just going, oh, poison, whatever. I'll just go to the inn and heal it. I love these hedgehogs. You basically shave their head. That's your battle damage. And then you cause depression in scorpions. Somebody would like to explain that to me? I'd love to hear it. But it works. It's just one of the things that makes this game great in its simplicity, so you can't really argue with it. And now we're just working our way through the Wintry Cave. It's taken a while, but we're making it work. Also, if you guys want to leave some commentary on if I'm leaving too many encounters in, I would love to see that too, because I'm taking out grinding, but I'm not taking out these monsters that we're going through. But there is a lot of them, so if you guys want these cut out, then comment on it and let me know. I will cut out more of them. But in the meantime, we have fairly easy enemies on this floor, at least. And we're continuing to work through, and we're walking and walking and walking. I love getting critical hits. They help. They help you nuke the rest of this deal. This dungeon. So one of the things that I could that people might be asking me right now is, you know, what games are you currently playing? As I kind of pointed out in the LPs with my brother-in-law Alex, or Shadow Blazer 3000. By the way, just a quick plug for him. He's actually working on some stuff on his channel, some anime reviews. Go check it out if you're an anime fan. It's very enjoyable. I've seen the work that he's done with it. Very enjoyable. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. And who knows, maybe if enough people like it, then there will be a Drak and Shadow crossover of one of the animes. I don't know. We'll work something out. If you guys want to suggest something, that works too. But yeah, one of the things people might want to know is, you know, what am I playing currently as far as like RPGs? Right now, I actually have delved into not necessarily memory lane, because it isn't memory for me. I've been really trying to tackle as I've said a couple of times, I've been trying to tackle the Dragon Warrior franchise. Because I've been told numerous times, you know, you really need to you gush about Final Fantasy all the time. And you really need to see the competition to see whether or not, you know, that gushing is worth it. I think it is. I will be a Final Fantasy fan regardless of whether or not I like Dragon Warrior. But, yeah, I'm tackling it right now. And we'll see. We'll see if I like it, and I'll start commenting on it if I see anything prominent in those games. The other series that I'm trying to take on is Golden Sun. That was one of those gems on the Game Boy Advance that I missed. And so that's going to be interesting, because that's, again, another game I've been told by a lot of RPG friends that, you know, you missed out. There's one other franchise, but I've got a big pile of games that I'm trying to complete at the moment, both old and new. I made the joke about it on the Dragon Shadow LPs, but basically, I've got a pile of games. Some are open, some aren't. And I'm just getting through them as I can go. And in some cases, I'm a little OCD. I like to start from the first game and make my way to the current stuff. So, like in the cases of like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, which I am playing, I want to start from the beginning and work my way to 3. Because I only did the first 2 games. I never completed Ezio. But I don't remember enough of the story to... So I want to basically go back and remember what I missed. And now we're almost to the end. I actually like this whole idea of, ooh, look, invisible or see-through floor, and you can barely see yourself. Foreground, background kind of thing. Really cool as a kid, because you're like sitting there going, where am I? I can't see my pixels. A new enemy, or not necessarily new, but new recolor. You'll see that a lot in RPGs if you haven't played them. Recolors of old enemies, because, well, you know, we need to use these models as much as possible. Whether or not it makes sense. Oh, and you hit Phoebe! How dare you! No turtle power for you. And see, you can see little... what you think are stuff blocking your path. You don't know, but you're playing it safe, just in case. And I gotta say, I love the music of these games. It's very reminiscent and very good for a 16-bit score. Oh, that hurt. And I killed Phoebe! No! How could you do it, Benjamin? Oh, wait, you're confused. That's why you could do it. Now it's down to 1. And I'm not confused anymore. Yay! This will go fairly easy. One more hit, it looks. It looks like. And down he goes. Now, one of the things also that was cool about this is when you die, 1 HP. So I don't need to worry about a life item or anything like that. I can just cure him up. So that's what I am doing. And it looks like, oh man. Again, you notice the level gap after a while with your characters. Phoebe's 3 levels above me, and you know, in a lot of cases, that's one of the complaints that goes against this game. I say I like it because you want to cruise through the story as a first-time RPG fan. You don't want to grind. And that allows for you to be able to do that. You just pay the price. In the fact that Benjamin is not as strong as Phoebe, so things will die slower. But it allows you to progress. Now, in some cases, the level gaps don't make sense later. I'll agree with that. But I'll take it. It allows for me to cruise through this game and show it to you guys. So I'm not necessarily gonna complain about that. Except when Phoebe misses and she has a finite amount of ammo. That's okay, we won't use the arrows completely. Critical hit! Love it. And one more enemy, and we are at the boss. So 3 more centaurs to go, and we get first strike. Love this when this is implemented in an RPG. First strike, or preemptive, or pincer attack, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, it works. It gives you a level of strategy. Even the back attack, when it's frustrating because it works against you, you do get a sense of accomplishment in your first completion of back attacks in the game, because you know how to do it. You know how to face the enemies and work it to your advantage. Oh, and look, I actually used items! I'm actually kind of proud of myself. You can't hear it, but I'm giving myself a pat on the back. And here's our boss, and does it look like it's appropriate for the Wintry Cave? Not really, but we'll take it. Giant squid, here we go. And now we'll start using our abilities. As you can kind of tell, I'm experimenting at the moment. I don't know necessarily what the weaknesses are, but I'll work with it. Looks like thunder hit pretty hard. There's quake. Well, the squid doesn't care. And neither do the harpies. Iron nail? What is this, Pokemon? Holy moly. Yes, I played Pokemon. Wasn't very good. Well, I mean, I never completed that far. I think the only games I ever legitimately completed was second generation. And I usually always waited for the middle game. The yellow, the crystal, before I dug into them. I've changed that since. I've tried to pick up diamond I don't know how many times. And we are burning the squid. I don't know why we're burning the squid, but we are. And there we go. That's the big damage ability. Now we're getting somewhere. But not enough damage for it to matter yet. Here's another thunder. And there we go. Now we have battle damage. And he's just looking at us more evil, I guess. One more thunder. I like that battle damage right there. My hairdo just came down over my face. Now I kind of look like an anime character with one eye. I kid, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of anime. So I just am enough of a fan to be able to make fun of the tropes that will show up. I've always kind of had the philosophy, if you can't do that, then you need to be able to do that, just to laugh at what you love. It allows you to enjoy it even more. And there he goes. That must be the Libra Crest. Alright, so now we got the Libra Crest. Now we can use the magic tile in Libra Temple. Just like the design of the crest. Yeah, and this is going to be a deal with all the tiles that we will get, is that it's basically easy teleportation. Very helpful. And we also don't need to worry about enemies on our way out, but it's going to be a long walk because we don't have the exit spell yet. At least I don't think we do. Yeah, I don't think Phoebe has it. I think she has Cure, Heal, and Life. It's okay. It's not that long. Bear with me. I'm walking as fast as I can. I knew I forgot to get sprint shoes. Oh, wrong game. And I forgot to equip claws. Here we go. And obviously we have not hit a long dungeon yet, because the next one, the one guarding the water crystal, will be a long one. We may actually use some Benny Hill when I have to walk out of it, because I still won't have exit. But we are almost out of here, so that is a good thing. And we can go use the Liber Crest to, as Phoebe said, to go to the Life Temple.